Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a creative sim based off of the movie and musical Heathers. This is actually one of my favorite movies. It was made back in the 80s and it's kind of like the OG Mean Girls, you know. You have your clique of popular girls and they're all named Heather, hence why they're the Heathers. So we're starting off with Heather Chandler. She is the leader of the Heathers. She's kind of Little Miss Perfect on the outside, but she's obviously, since I compared it to Mean Girls, she's really not. She's actually pretty mean. You know, the whole group, they're kind of just bullies to everybody who is not them. But yeah, so typically she's portrayed as blonde-haired, blue eyes, and she has usually a red scrunchie that she ties her hair up with. Like I said, it was made in the 80s. But since I don't have any scrunchies, I just decided to use this big red bow that I have. And I still feel like it captures her essence pretty well. She was pretty extra. And for this whole creative sim, I pretty much just use things that either I've gotten in the game through expansion packs or just some custom content that I already had. I didn't go and download anything specific for these characters, so if they're not totally accurate, it's not my fault. And I wasn't really trying to make them look like the actual actors in the movie, or even like the original cast of the musical. It's kind of just more inspired, so it's kind of my own take on the Heathers. So, like you can see, that suit top there is from City Living. It took me a minute. I was trying to kind of sort through all of the different suit jackets to find the one that looked closest to the one that she traditionally wears. I ended up sticking with this one that she has on right now. Because typically she does wear like a white blouse. But instead of a tie, she has like a little brooch at her neckline. And then she usually wears a plaid skirt. So I was checking through. I have a lot of different skirts, so I was trying to find one that fit best. And I did like the red plaid one, but I felt like it was too much red, and I didn't like the pink tone, so instead I went with the black one. There are like varying fan arts of Heather, I guess, that you can see her in a red plaid skirt or you can see her in a black plaid skirt. I like the black one better. And then she usually wears these little socks with the diamonds that I picked out here, but usually instead of the dark gray diamonds, she has red and white. But it's close enough, in my opinion. So the next part that was kind of challenging was figuring out what shoes to give her. Usually I think she wears these like loafers that are black, white, and red. But there are none in-game that look exactly like the ones that she has. So it took me a minute to kind of find some that I liked. I ended up deciding on just some red loafers, but they made her feet look really long, so I shrunk them down. So, Heather Chandler, leader of the Heathers. I'm pretty sure I gave them all like popularity related aspirations, because obviously they kind of want to be rulers of the school. She's a snob, she's mean, and I was going to do ambitious, but I ended up deciding on materialistic instead, because she kind of was. It's weird, she kind of reminds me of like an all red themed version of Monica from Doki Doki. Okay, and here's our second Heather. She's she's second in command. I had a hard time deciding on her hair color. I guess in the musical, often she's more dark-haired, but in the movie, she kind of had more of an auburn hair color. It seemed red a lot of the times in the sunlight. So I ended up just going with this color, and I loved the little green barrettes in her hair. It's hers kind of staple color, just like the first Heather's was red. Hers is green. So I really liked the little touch that the barrettes added to her look. And so I decided that I was just going to keep her hair more on the red side because I was going more inspired by the movie than I was the musical. So for her, I looked around at a few different like green suit jackets, and I didn't know whether I wanted to give her like a green skirt or a black skirt. Like I said, there are lots of different varying versions of them that you can find online. I ended up going with a black skirt for her, and then little green socks. I was really kind of upset that they weren't like the same shade of green as her jacket, but what are you gonna do? So she's jealous, because she's always been jealous of the first Heather, mean, and she's also materialistic. And then the last of the Heathers, starting on her color is yellow. She's not really as mean as the other Heathers. In fact, at one point she even becomes the victim of their bullying herself. So for her, I chose outgoing, perfectionist, and gloomy. You can tell she kind of has like more of an athletic body. You'll see in a second. She's a cheerleader. She's also blonde. She's kind of more of a beta of the group, whereas the other two Heathers are more alpha than her. So she kind of just like goes along with it. I mean, she's still definitely like committed to the Heathers, at least for most of the movie, but she's, she puts up with a lot of stuff, and a lot of bad treatment, not even just from the other Heathers, but from other people as well.
Bone to pick? You've come so far. Why now are you pulling on my dick? I'd normally slap your face off, and everyone here could watch.
I think it's a really great movie. Part of the reason that I really wanted to do this was because there is a remake in TV show form that is coming out, I believe, next month. And once I saw the previews for it, I was not really, I wasn't really excited about it. I thought I was going to be, I think that originally I thought that a modern remake would be really cool, but this one doesn't seem to really have, I don't know, the same message, I guess, at least not in my opinion. They're taking kind of more typically marginalized groups and putting them in the position of power as the Heathers, when that's not really what the original was about. It was more about your typical, rich, snobby, conventionally pretty girls, being bullies. So anyway, back on topic. So for her, like I said, her color is yellow, and from what I've seen of the musical, she typically kind of wears a like yellow and white plaid, almost dress, like suit, like full suit, so like it's all matching. So I was trying to look through my outfits to see if I had anything kind of similar, and I don't. So in the end, I think I ended up just giving her the yellow jacket that she's wearing now and a yellow and white striped skirt, because the plaid skirt was yellow and black and I just didn't feel like it looked good, I guess. So I just gave her that and some yellow socks, and I think I ended up just giving her some loafers or flats or something like that. And yeah, there she is. Typically her little dress has like a belt going across, so that's what I was looking for. And then we have Veronica Sawyer. Veronica is like the main character. She was kind of part of the Heathers group, but she didn't like the way that they treated people, and she didn't like even the way that they treated her, and it all kind of starts off with she wishes that Heather Chandler would just die, would just go away, because she doesn't feel like she can be free as long as they are ruling the school. And so then when she meets the next character that we're going to make, they actually kill her, and she doesn't even realize at first that, like, what's happened. It wasn't intentional, at least not on her part, but then she kind of has to live with that, and that's when Heather Duke kind of steps up and takes Heather Chandler's place, and she kind of realizes that, like, no matter what she does, there's always going to be those kinds of people. It's high school. I mean, there are always bullies in high school, right? So for Veronica, I kind of wanted to give her a softer look, at least like as far as her makeup. And in general, she usually wears blue and black. Those are kind of her colors. So I ended up just giving her the black plaid skirt because I felt like the blue was just too much blue. And the blue jacket, blue socks, and black and white loafers. And at first the traits that I gave her were self-assured, creative, and outgoing. But then I ended up going back and changing them because I felt like that didn't totally encompass who she was. Instead I gave her good, creative, and bookworm, because throughout the whole story she's writing in her journal, and she's very good at forgery. So then here we have JD. His full name is James Dean, and he's a bad boy. He comes into Veronica's world and tricks her into killing people, because once he gets rid of Heather Chandler, he just can't seem to stop. So for him, I gave him this custom content, like black jacket that I have. I think he wears like a longer coat in the movie, but I really liked the way that this looked on him, and I felt like it kind of encompassed his whole bad boy vibe. So for him, deviance, romantic, evil, and loner. And there we have it. Those are all of the main characters. My versions of them in Sims 4 from Heathers. I love this movie, and I hope that I did all the characters justice. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Wait. years and I